Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros back in the friendly confines of home here, not playing a road game. Pretty excited here. We everything's been coming up. Deposit Kingdom recently. Nez has been doing some work. The Deposit Kingdom did a full scoop of the Dog Bowl leaderboards. Truly incredible there. And then they also scooped the Dinger 1-2 there. Shout out to Sam Olsen and Svi, who I was able to meet at the ship chasing party there over last week. We got big stuff happening on the platform. Brand new gladiator program, rake back. Everybody's opinions were heard. Guys, this is the community. This is the voice. This is where the winners hang out. This is where everyone's voice is heard and changes actually take place on the platform. It is beautiful to see on all accord. Nez, how you doing, my man?
Doing well. Didn't quite take home the Dog Bowl seat that I was hoping for, but next best thing is 3 community members from the Discord doing it instead. But I want to talk about what I think most people want to hear about is I want to break down my home league matchup. So in week 1, I kidding. No,
week 1, I sat Tony Pollard.
Oh, you're not gonna believe this, man. Let me tell you about my $25 home league here. No.
Oh man. I saw you had a decent little weekend there. I mean, everyone in the community, all I was seeing was screenshots of winners and stuff like that. But you had yourself at least in 2 second places there. One of the primetime Palooza, one in the bomb there. So shout out to you as well. Yours truly just donated a couple Toyota Corollas to the fund. Keep these games rolling along, right? But no, man, I can't. We've talked about this on the show. Like, I get very excited if I win or have success, right? Everybody does. I get so excited for the community. Like, it was amazing to see the screenshots rolling in, to see the success, because it doesn't always happen right away. And for it to happen right away like this, especially with Dog Bowl seats, now that everyone will be getting together and hanging out, it's just truly incredible, man.
Yeah, no, I like that it happens this way. If it can't be me, I'm glad that it's close personal friends of the show doing it instead. But man, I didn't sweat at all this weekend, by the way. I don't know if you followed along with this, but I decided to unplug from the Matrix for a few hours because, I mean, telling you, dude, for the last 5 months, basically 4 months, I've been my screen time on Underdog has just been insane. Just crazy. So I unplugged and I wasn't sweating. I checked a couple DMs and then I did get a little bit spoiled. I saw that, oh man, I knew I had a sweat in the Dog Bowl. So I was like, I didn't want to know. I really did not want to know. And I knew I had a sweat. And then the Tampa Bay and the Commanders game went off and I was like, I know that's not holding. And so that was I didn't want to know that, but I'm never doing that again. Like, pay good money to play on this platform. I'm gonna fucking sweat my team. I'm not doing that ever.
What to say, man? I was like, when you play as much as you do, like the sweat is half the fun. I mean, once you learn to manage it and like mitigate your expectations and stuff, we'll talk through it. We got our first 2 winner circles of the year here. 2 community members. We got a brand new, very detailed Underdog sanctioned graphic that was designed by the high ups at Underdog. for a new winner circle here.
Put yourself behind that one. All right. See you. Sayonara. The contract. It's over.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I didn't sweat the afternoon stuff yesterday because I was playing a hockey tournament and stuff like that, and I missed it. I did miss it. I as soon as I got off the ice, instantly looked at it and was like, yeah, exactly what I expected. Bunch of zeros. But had I been a bit more talented player, maybe there would have been a sweat there for me too. I mean, sweating's half the fun. Yeah, anyways, without further ado, Nez, I think we bring in our very first one. See you later, pal. End of the show.
John has no idea that he just like went mute. Like, we didn't hear anything that he just said in his preamble. I don't think he knows that you can do solo layout with you. So Dark Sheep, I'm gonna just like take over for just 1 second here. And there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
We can fit under the crown. What's up, guys?
This is your time to shine. Please, you didn't have a speech prepared?
I do not have a speech prepared. I thought I'd be answering questions. I'm usually hosting shows, so I don't know what to do in this scenario.
Put your hands up like a little cheer.
Oh man.
But now my face is now I'm high. There we go.
There we go.
John,
Oh man.
you're the
Matthew,
best.
welcome, dude. Everybody knows and loves him. Sheep sheets, stacking dingers, primarily a baseball guy, but proving himself as a multi-sport draft lead here, man. Big congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Baker doubles for life. Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about here?
Honestly, I can't draft a Baker double without hearing your voice say it. So
If only I was smart enough to put that into play.
Sheep, I just wanted to ask if you could do like your tried and true intro to who you are for the audience, for those who don't know,
All right.
and just put a smile on my face.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Badge Bros Winner's Circle. I didn't plan this. Anyway, you can check me out. I am your guest. On Twitter at D4RKSH33P_.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Thank you.
definitely just to plug quick. Yeah, go check out the Sheep Seats. We'll be ramping up playoff baseball stuff here, there, and also stacking dingers, which Chris and I are going to record our first playoff show tonight too. So
Right
Love
on.
it, man. Yeah, that playoff contest. I haven't taken a look at it yet because I was in Vegas when I was out there. But yeah, do we have a good feel on what the meta is this year and like some of the stuff that we got to be correcting versus like last year with some of the stacking, some of the overstacking? What are you thinking with just macro view of the pennant?
I think it's really interesting right now because things are still quite up in the air as to who's getting the buy and stuff. So you can maybe right now immediately lean into some 2-buy teams that maybe there's a borderline buy player or buy team. But yeah, I think it's still, you want to get 2 or 3 teams stacked in that World Series and like overstack one of them.
Okay.
I'm not going to stray too far from that.
Yeah. So like the foundational principles of our past still kind of hold true this year.
Yeah. Chris, I see him in there in the chat. He's got 75 drafts done already. So I'm going to use him as my guide tonight.
Holy crap.
And record it. So,
well, that's beautiful. So if you guys are interested in winning the pennant, you guys check that one out tonight on the Sheep Sheets there. I always slur it together. Sheep Seats all in one.
yeah, that'll be on stackingdingers.com.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's break down the lineup here.
Yeah.
Let's break down what went into it, how many entries you played this week, etc. I'm of course not sharing my screen and doing exactly what I was doing before there.
So yes, I saw somebody say that baseball bros know football too, and I don't actually know football. So my actual football takes building this not applicable. Like I had no idea what Washington's defense was at all going into the season. But I started this team with Evans. I did eight total drafts in this contest. I did a couple goal line stands because that's the best place to do a few practice drafts for this. I started out the week. I did 3 really, well, I guess more than a week ago when the contest opened. It was opened kind of early. I did like 3 drafts and just smashed Devontae Adams because he started really low in ADP. I know Nez is in one of those rooms, so I was building a lot of Houston, Indiana, and also throwing in Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf. Those were like I had 3 teams with DK, 3 teams with Devontae, and 3 teams with Nico. So that was kind of like my core. And obviously you can see how great my core did being none of those on this roster. But this started out actually with Evans. I wanted to do Evans as a solo with Washington. With Washington stack on the other side. McLaurin kind of stayed low in ADP. and I wanted a couple of Daniels teams out of my 8, but that didn't work out. I did take, I guess, yeah. So I took Mixon as he was a great piece of leverage on how much the Houston pass catchers were being drafted and split between. So I really had no idea what to expect with him in Houston this year. And then actually, I guess Schultz would have been next based on ADP, I think. And that, as far as tight end goes, I think I had 3 teams with him. And projection wise, he was basically the last of the top tier. After that, everybody dropped down a couple of points. And so I knew I was at a certain point building. Well, I guess I was looking for McLaurin later. So I took Schultz here because like after that, tight end didn't really matter.
Sure. Yeah.
So followed that up with Jones, and then everything got blown up. So just stuck with the double.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, like this is, there's some good evergreen takeaways there that you can get there on lower volume. Like you only did 8 entries here comparative to like, I imagine there were some other people in the field who did, 50 plus kind of deal. And then the fact that you used the goal line stand as kind of like a precursor to determine your targets and then hopped in the dog bowl. I think that's a very sharp, astute, like kind of evergreen takeaway for people there. And then just kind of like talking through some of your leverage there and then some of your pivots like in the room and reacting to the dynamics of like what the room gave you kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't draft this team, but I definitely like could see myself drafting a team just like this. I've been on Dalton Schultz during the best ball season, and I think the Mixon and the Schultz like leverage off of the other pass catchers that were going every single time, was a very astute move as well. Like I thought that game was going to be a really fun, exciting game all week. And it was, but LOL. But and then
Aaron, like coffee.
Aaron Jones, man, and is in a really good spot against that Giants defense that just I think is going to be something that people target most of the season. I mean, this is a really, really solid lineup, man. I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff get people to the dog bowls. I mean, this is something that I think the field can like feel good about.
Right? Yeah.
Oh man, like how would I ever gotten to that? Like this makes sense.
Because this is how I normally build teams, and they don't get there, so it makes me feel good.
I get it.
So I have a question for you guys, actually. So people are starting to post all the passing stats from Sunday and actually going backwards the other couple of games, and there's just like scoring and pass volume was way down for like the first time in years. So immediately the question comes to me, how like the 2 RB 2 wide receiver teams, is that going to be way more optimal this year? Are we going to get people leaning too far into that? Or I don't know, just kind of some interesting data already after week 1.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're 2 separate questions. Like the pass volume stuff being down this season to start, I don't think I use that as a benchmark or an indicator as to why I would do 1-2-2-1s more so than previous years. Like for me, like the 1-1-3-1 versus 1-2-2-1 debate is very slate specific. That being said, I think the reason a lot of that past stuff was down for week 1, and this is just kind of like my dunce cap bro science takeaway, is the lack of preseason games in terms of the starters playing in preseason games. Like we saw less starters play in preseason games this year than ever before. And then you just look at a team like the Bengals this week. It was like they just couldn't get anything going, and that should be, a more high-powered offense with a good passing game, or we assume to be. I think that would be like my like first takeaway. And then to answer like the 1-2-2-1 versus like 1-1-1-1-3-1 or whatever, is I don't think we leaned enough into the scoring system in years past, and I think this is the first big arc for us as a community as these games have become bigger, as people are doing simulations, as people are using more tools for it, that we will see, because of the half-point PPR, because of the scoring system on this, that, some of these rushing floor quarterbacks coupled with 2 running backs is going to prove to be more optimal relative to the scoring system, more so than the way in which football was played in week 1.
Yeah. I am. I think it's interesting, and it will really be slate dependent for me, and also like field dependent. I think this week presented itself with a lot of opportunities, to set up like a later Aaron Jones, like you did here, who I thought like was a very strong projection on the week. But I also liked a lot of 1-1-3-1s this week, because I just thought that, there's projectable volume at RB. I thought there were some really high ceilings available at wide receiver, and to do in a wide receiver at flex as well. So it'll continue to be slate dependent for me, and it'll be interesting to see how the field reacts this week. Week 2 is always a really fun overreaction week in these contests. So if we see a lot of people gravitating toward 2 RB teams, at that point, a wide receiver in the flex is just by default probably your best move, but it depends on how heavy the field leans into those structures. And I also saw a stat, I forget who it was. We do this every year, John, where we see something cool and forget to like bookmark it. That the pendulum could very well be swinging to like running the football, on a given in a vacuum scenario is just like the better move based on the way defenses are playing in today's game. Like too high is not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, like the pendulum could be swinging a little bit. I'm just saying, but I also
Dare we say you're
one thing, but
dare we say you're Arthur Smith pilled right now with that take?
Too much Cordero Patterson for
oh my God, was there ever? Okay, Dark Sheep, we don't want to leave our other guest hanging much longer here. Any final words for the people? Any words of wisdom and advice, and any or last plugs for the Stacking Dinners and Sheep Seat stuff?
No, the only plug is everybody should play baseball, best ball too. So, and we'll help you adjust as much as possible.
Love it, man.
Agreed.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, Matthew. Look forward to meeting up in the dog bowl there. Peace out, my friend. Okay, Nez, how do I not butcher this next one? Do I bring the overlay up first? Actually, you know what? One thing before I bring in our very next guest here, we do have to hit on the second lineup because I see him hanging out in the chat. Vogie Berra here, another Deposit Kingdom member, Nick, who I believe said in the chat here, there he is. He only did 4 entries to the dog bowl. So again, proving that, volume isn't the 101 of getting here, right? Like just thinking through your process, coming up with a smart, intelligent lineup, like taking Spicy Kyle Pitts and Baker Skinnies, man.
Not to be confused with our beloved Drew Vogel.
Of course. Number 1 fan of the show.
Very, very, very friendly friend of the show. Not maybe related. You guys might want to check on that. But it is worth the trip. We'll talk about it in maybe behind the paywall or something, Drew. We've talked about it a decent amount in the past, but I know you're newer, so maybe behind the paywall can kind of break down how that'll go for you. But yeah, shout out to Nick, man. 4 entries, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, and great screen name, man. Vogie Berra.
That's great.
That's pretty
great.
Good.
Yeah,
that might.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that might need to be added to the list.
Yeah, we'll throw it on there. Maybe not perverted enough to be on the list, but a good name nonetheless. I just want to give a shout out to the Ramondre Stevenson pick. That was really sick. As the week moved on and we saw how poor that New England offense was looking, I was like, oh man, like the game script might be in the opposite direction here. So really, really smart pick.
Yeah, that was a good shout by you early in the week there when we did the early preview show that you had him as a scroll F down, and I wanted to take Zach Moss instead there. Obviously, Ramondre came up on top of that, 25 carries, over 100 yards, and a score there. That was good. We were walking back from Top Golf in Vegas there, and I said low key, like we were talking survivor pool stuff, and I was like, I'm not touching the Bengals this week. I think there is like some low key Pats energy that could win that ball game, like. Jacoby Brissett, it's not going to be fun for fantasy, but there could be so much bad energy around the Bengals and then a little bit of upset potential there on the way back there. And direct quote, Gretch, couple wobbly pops deep said, "I want whatever you're smoking, bro." So we need that one on the record there.
We'll let Gretch go. He was having fun.
All right, we got our first. I mean, this is crazy. Dog Bowl week 1, and we got a recurring entrant to the Dog Bowl. Nez, how do I not screw up this?
I got
circle?
this. I got.
All right,
this.
you got it.
I'm gonna bring him in. We're gonna show him at the bottom, but just pretend like you guys don't see this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Chad, welcome to the show. Boom, boom, boom. There he is.
Thanks for having me. I have even less of a speech prepared than Sheep, but I'm looking forward to heading back. So,
can you give us like a little arm raise, like like his little yeah? He's so psyched. He's so psyched to be on the winner's circle. He can't even contain it.
Yep. Had to bust out the shirt from last year. So,
it's a good look, man. It's a good look.
My wife has begged to differ, and that's why it's remained in the closet. But I will take it.
It's a great quality shirt. Like I honestly I wish more people had access to get that, but I like that it's kind of like a coveted thing. You got to earn your way to receiving that shirt, but it's a nice shirt. I'm not gonna lie. I would wear it casually, but I also have have my wife with her dissenting opinion as well.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Chad's been around. OG member of this community, OG Deposit Kingdom guy. He was one of the original BR Streets guys that would do some collecting of draft boards and data, and you would come up with some projected ownership stuff. So, I mean, originally a hoops guy, then a little bit of baseball dabbled in there, but more football and hoops for you there. But getting back to the Dog Bowl here, bro. Wish you all the best. Hope we don't have a Zach Moss directionally accurate scenario from last year again for you here. But dude, man, we had a great time with you at the Dog Bowl. Tell people what your experience was like, how excited you are to go back, kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go back. It was a lot of fun. It was stressful. I know Nez can talk a little bit about that too. And it was really stressful for me when the Zach Moss and all of that was not going my way. I had to just kind of decompress at one point and then come back, and then I could really enjoy it. And that was a lot more fun. So I'm really glad I get a chance to go back and just have a different perspective on it as I go back to it. So
love it, man. Like, what would your advice be for like someone who hasn't been there before, who, even like Dark Sheep, like he's never been there before? What would be something that you could say with a little bit of experience to a player like him?
Yeah, just enjoy it. I mean, the weekend, it's going to go by fast, without a doubt. There's so many people to meet and a lot of good people down there that just enjoy it. Get out of your own head. Once you've done the draft, there's not a damn thing you can do about it anyway. So let it go. However it falls, it falls. So.
No, that's great, man. That's great advice because, it's really hard because you're so vested. You have one isolated lineup. You're sweating the games. It's really hard to find that balance, that middle ground. So I think it's good life advice too there.
Well, and I'm very glad that they made the change this year to have 3 drafts. So that'll help too. So like I knew I was dead in the morning games unless Russell Wilson went off last year, what were the odds that was going to happen? But so having 3 lineups, I can write 1 off and still have 2 that are live. So
love it.
Yeah, I was about to ask your thoughts about that because I'm a huge fan of that change. And even though it does, not like in theory, it does in fact make it harder to reach that next threshold of some extra cash in there. I love the idea of having multiple cracks at winning the big prize. So I love it. And it sounds like you were also in favor.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like it for the same reasons. Yes, that min cash is going to be potentially harder to get to, but as one of the 8 people who didn't make it to the min cash last time, I'm all right with that.
Like, yeah, you're like, who cares? Like I've already felt the takeaway from it. So yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. Let's talk through the week in and of itself there. Chad, let's talk about some of the macro strategy stuff that you have applied to this contest in the past to have success year over year here. You found yourself with a 1-2-2-1 build there, with Jaden Daniels as kind of like the naked rushing floor upside with a Chris Godwin bring back there. Walk me through the lineup, bro.
Yeah, I had a lot of naked rushing quarterbacks. That's been historically kind of what I've gravitated towards. I'll pair them up every once in a while with their pass catcher, but with the Dog Bowl being 12 teams, the ceiling isn't quite the same. BRs I almost always stack, but for this, I do a lot more naked rushing quarterbacks. My top 3 QB exposures were Justin Fields. We don't really need to talk about that one. T-Law, Jaden Daniels, and A-Rich. And a lot of those, for those, everyone except for T-Law was naked on it. So I just love going that route. It makes it a lot, like there's just so many different ways to get there when you focus on the rushing QB. And it makes it so the draft can fall to you where you're not having to force a stack. So.
That's a really good, I really like that takeaway where it's like you're not forcing yourself, like, because so often we pigeonhole ourselves in these builds in these 12-team rooms where you take like an early target wide receiver and then his quarterback is going, QB 5 or 6 or something like that. And you're just wish casting a GM over and over again in these drafts. And then you're kind of like panicking for like a secondary stack after the fact. So I think that's a good macro takeaway. Like obviously the field stuff and whatnot didn't work out, but the Jaden Daniels stuff clearly did. It's good. What'd you do volume wise, exposure wise for the contest this week?
I was irresponsible with my volume. I think Nez might be able to attest to that one. I hit 100, over 100 in here. It was kind of insane, but I really aped in on the field's uncertainty too. And I felt like I was one of the first ones to jump on 6-round fields. And if that had been the skeleton key, I wanted to gobble up as much fields and hoard it to myself as I could on that point. So that's where I really kind of even more aped into it. But yeah, I would have had some explaining to do with how irresponsible I was with that first week 1 bankroll, but it worked out on this one. So I started right when it dropped. Like after getting there last year, I wanted to get back. So that was kind of my goal. And I only did 29 BRs and I did 100 and some Dog Bowls. So I mean, you could tell where my focus was for sure.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Results to prove it there. Nez, you got anything else for Chad here?
Yeah, I mean, I also did a good amount of volume. I think I stopped at 40 this week because I was I ended up doing some other contests that were out because the lobby was just loaded this week. So I was like, okay, I got a cool even number. I will stop there. And I'm glad I did because I don't think I would have ended up getting to the winner. My focus kind of changed as the week went on. I just want to say, like, the Dog Bowl drafts are by far the most fun drafts that are out there because I love the competitive aspect. Like the 12 people in those lobbies are all for the most part hardcore grinders. There was maybe a few times when I had a mostly badgeless room, which was really crazy. But I love going toe to toe with everybody else that I think is really good at these games. And I love the 12-person drafts. I love the way that you have to think through those and the decision-making behind, the team building and 12-person drafts. Just those two things combined. I just love the Dog Bowl drafts. They are just so much fun. And I hope to get back there as well to see you again. I'll see you regardless, but I'd like to see you as a, as a competitor.
Definitely. I know last time we drafted right next to each other there, so hope to do it again. So
yeah, right on, Chad. Anything else you want to say about the lineup, bro? About anything else that's going on with you and whatnot?
No, I'm just so thankful to have gotten back here again, and it'll be fun. I am not going to go as hard for the second seed as I went last year. I learned my lesson there. But to Nez's point too, I like the 12-teamers, so I'm going to be hanging out in the goal line stands a lot more than I have been. So I'm spreading it out a little bit. Whereas this week I was 100% in on the Dog Bowl. So it's nice to be able to do some of those new contests Numi has for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we'll dive into what's all new up in the lobby there. I did see Numi in the chat at one point there saying that there also is the $3 12-person contests there that you can kind of familiarize yourself with the 12-team drafts at a cheaper price point and then hop in these, you being the collective you. I think you're going to be okay for bankroll for a little bit here, Chad.
Dare we did also, sorry.
No.
He FaceTimed my son Duncan. Duncan is requesting another call when I'm down in Dallas. So
that's funny. I forgot about that. While at the Dog Bowl last time out. Yeah, because you and Numi share that little bit of Minnesota bond there, right?
Yep, we do.
Right on, man. Look forward to it again. We had a great time with you last year. So nice to meet you and your wife in person there. Looking forward to it again. Best of luck the rest of this season here. Are you going to be doing some double dribbles leading up? We have you as a hoops guy right now in the sheet. Does the sheet need an amendment after this as the first two-time Dog Bowl qualifier?
I need to get my volume back up. I've never been a best ball hoops guy. It's always been the dailies. So I have not done a single double dribble, but this might convince me to do a couple of them. So, but I'm ready for the dailies to start. Last year I got a little burned out, and that's why I wasn't like too much in there. It was just too much drafting for me on top of everything. But this year I'm ready to go. I took the break I needed, and I'm ready to get back into it.
Love it. Actually, I'll ask you one last hoops question there. With the new auto draft feature built into the platform, do you see yourself utilizing it for hoops in a big way, or are you still going to be more of like the hand builder style drafter?
Both. If that's not a cop out on there, it'll some I will like to hand build. I just get a better sense for what combinations I'm getting and when you start to see people fall and get pushed up. But I've always kind of been the hand builder who takes from the top of my ranks. So if I get pressed for time, I'll auto it. So
sounds good, man. Appreciate you, Chad. Appreciate everything you've done for the Deposit Kingdom in the past and helping us get our feet off the ground, man. Much appreciated to you. Well deserved on your seat. Look forward to seeing you soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks,
Chad.
See you, Chad. Nez, I want to point out another couple things here as we go through some of the other stuff that took place on the platform there. EDN3 qualifier from last year, Deposit Kingdom guy, 4th place. Brad W, our guy, a Deposit Kingdom guy, directionally accurate, still a nice 900 win right there. The head of winning, finding his way to 12th there. You know, Crutches, Josh, Dave. Like, it's absolutely crazy that even not just the top spots, it's all Deposit Kingdom littered throughout, man.
Have you seen my team?
No, man, I didn't scroll that far. How far is it?
Oh, come on, just keep going just a little bit. Go to the score 101 because you're gonna love it. I tell you this because you're gonna love it.
Okay. And there you go. Crash Rich GME holder. Holy shit. Roy was hanging out in the Deposit Kingdom earlier today. Oh my goodness. All right, here you go. Magikarp. Oh my goodness.
Look at this.
Anthony Richardson, who tried his very best to bury my ass this week and did so. Richardson, Zach Moss, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Alec Pierce, Skinny Stack. Scroll the F down, Nez. Wow. Now I understand why you wanted to show off this team.
Scroll the F down with your boy Zach Moss. I mean,
wow.
This was definitely an early one when I was like, oh man, Zach Moss in every draft. And then I quickly, pumped the brakes on that, but not before I snuck in an Alec Pierce Skinny. John, can I just say, can Justin Jefferson stop fucking me? Like, this is now 2 times.
Yeah.
At least he put up double digits this time. But lest we forget, actually, John, I vowed to never talk about that contest again and that lineup again. So I'm not even, if you know, because I will not talk about it. But Justin Jefferson, come on, dog. I really could have used an extra touchdown here.
Well, you know what, Nez? The community is so sad for you and holding your hands and hugging you because you've had no success on the platform recently. You had no success on the Thursday night, Friday night slate. You had no success in baseball all of last week multiple times. So the community is really heartfelt, feels bad for you, Nez.
Yeah, that was well deserved. Speaking of the community,
yes, sir.
Do you want to check out the Dinger?
Yes, I want to check out the Dinger and I want to check out the Badge Bros Brawl and some of these other contests here. Nez, I do just want to say one woe is me. It's not a woe is me. It's more as like funny as me. How funny is it that we had Baker doubles, Kyle Pitts as the highest scoring tight end, and Tony Pollard have himself like a 17, 18 point burger. And I just never put my 3 guys, my 3 builds from last year all together in one lineup. What a fish.
I mean, you pair that with Likely and your advance rates must be like 50%.
No doubt, right? We stuck in a couple Baker doubles here. I did play a lot of Ken Walker, but I did do the Zach Ertz bring back on both of the Baker doubles in which I built. So, oh man, all my guys getting home though.
I'm happy for you, man. You deserve it.
Hugs for Nez trending on Twitter right now.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the condolences.
Okay, before we go to the dinger, as you guys could see, check out all these fucking zeros. Your boy took a bath. I think I lost, like $1,700 or something like that. But directionally accurate, dare we say. I want to hit the Badge Bros Brawl. I want to make a point of hitting the Badge Bros Brawl every single week because it is our contest. I Love Fitness, a player in which we have seen many, many times on this site. I too am a lover of the fitness there. Naked Josh Allen team here, who, when we asked early in the week there, Nez, what did I tell you about Naked Josh Allen at his ADP? That one felt good, did it not?
It did. Yeah, I fully agree. I liked Josh Allen a lot this week. I just took him too much with Kincaid.
Yeah, that was kind of everybody's evergreen downfall there. My downfall was Trey McGronk. I played the shit out of Trey McGronk. I got consolidated at tight end, which is an evergreen reminder for everybody in the football streets that if you consolidate around the onesies positions, you can take an absolute bath just like me. So, when no tight end finds his way to separating or your tight end performs poorly, you get crushed. So I had too much Kyler coupled with McBride, and I had too much McBride in general there, but nobody cares about my teams. Shout out to I Love Fitness here, beautifully constructed team. Mike Evans was a little bit of a scroll down, and Alvin Kamara and Kyle Pitts were a little bit of scroll down in this contest because they were 3-man lobbies. So he had to get down to, nothing crazy, but get down to tight end 4 for a little bit of uniqueness instead of the top 3, et cetera, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I really like about these contests is, or at least our contest, that is what I'm saying. I mean, you can scroll down and you're still getting studs. It takes a little bit of thought into these. I'm a fan of the strategy differences that these bring.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out. I got a little one in the chat there. 4th place here. Adam took down 4th place in that one. He's hanging out in the chat right now. Got to give him a little love there. Nez, any other contests you want to hit on right now? We're going to focus mainly on some of the upper ones. I know some people in the community had some really good days. I know A-Win had a really good day. I saw Lukey big shots up at the top at some of those contests like that one. I saw you in second in the bomb there. Fullback dive. Yeah, A-Win and, Andrew's up here. It's just, man, every contest you go to littered with members of the community. Love to see it. Anything else you want to hit on football related?
No, not really. I mean, just like a very interesting week 1 where I think, 125 is probably live to be the lowest main BR shipper that we see this season. And that's, I'm not taking away any that.
Right.
That's not a knock at the winners. I just think there's a chance that we don't see 125 be the winning score for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably take, I think we'll probably have 2 more weeks. I'm thinking of like week 14. I'm thinking of Thanksgiving weekend. I'm thinking of week 12 with like all those buys where the main slates become like 8 games and stuff like that instead of the 12, 13 that we're accustomed to right now. So potentially there, but just in a vacuum, yes, low scoring week in general.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh man, look, we got all day Ray up here too. Oh man, it's just crazy. Every contest, this was the main BR. Every contest you look at, it just comes nuts. Okay, let's jump over to the baseball streets for 1 second. We have to hit on this. Solidifying themselves or himself as the absolute GOAT on this platform. Sam Olsen, the only ever carryover from Mount Rushmore to Mount Rushmore year over year, takes down the 100K with a beautifully constructed Ohtani team here. Just hit on every perfect pitcher for the postseason there. Had the Jake Cronenworth hat tip right there. Respect there. Some Brent Rooker in there. Just, man, what else can we say about Sam? We say it all the time. I just want it on the record, Nez, that he is the best player on this platform, bar none, in my honest opinion. And I have done everything in my power to get him on this program, and he refuses to do the content. But he did say he really hopes to see us at the Dog Bowl this year.
All right, then. I like the call. I'd like to see you there too, man. Let's get you there and let's shake hands. I mean, this is a really sick lineup. You see the stacking there. He had the pitching health that he needed to succeed. Your boy Jarren Duran, your boy Jake Cronenworth. I mean, I hope you're getting a cut of this.
I think maybe Sam's just like making me feel good and buttering me up, but he did say shout out for the Cronenworth call. So directionally accurate for my lineups, right?
Exactly. And how crazy is it that like Devers and Jose were just like, you're good. You guys can take a seat. Dansby Swanson's got this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we should just be targeting the Pirates in the playoffs is the lesson here.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Paul Skeens, yeah, they did get rocked in the playoffs. They're beautifully well constructed team. 6 at the pitcher position there, and then only does he still did 7 at the outfield position with Ohtani. I found that interesting because it was something that we talked about a lot in our Dinger process. That you take one of those upper echelon outfielders, you feel way more cozy about locking down with just 6 there, but he still spent some like decent capital at the position. Like Duran wasn't like cheap. Rooker wasn't cheap, and neither was Ward. They were kind of all in that like middling tier, but he kind of did the anchor Ohtani, then kind of built it out, and then still got up to 7 with the outfield.
Yeah, I mean, I like this structure a lot. I did a lot of 7 outfield, usually 7-6-7 or 6-7-7.
Yeah.
Another funny thing about this is Chas McCormick being in like putting up points for him in the finals is I just think is just like it's just funny because McCormick all season, it's just funny how this format works. All that being said, there's been a lot of talk about the best ball format for baseball. I'm like back and forth on the pod style versus the sprint style. I don't know, this was a fun sweat, man. I didn't I won 250 extra bucks. I'll take it. This was still a lot of fun, and I don't know at the end of the day that it'll be interesting to see like what other people think.
Yeah, I think the evergreen conversation is just like the randomness of 2 start pitching and how much it matters, and elongating that playoff window mitigates how much just binking 2 start pitchers matters in the finals, right? Like that'll be the discourse, that'll be the debate for us next year.
I think so, yeah. But like at the end of the day, what was more important? Question mark. Having Brent Rooker, Shohei, Adames, and Dansby, or getting the 2 start pitchers that put up 40 points less. Like only one pitcher for him put up triple digits. Like, yeah. I think what was more important was having like Dansby Swanson go absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, like it's just strategy talk. Just think, like, yeah, it just, I love these games, and they just really make me wonder.
Yeah. Next one here, I got some nuggets on my guy Svi here. So I had the good fortune. He was out for the ship chasing party with his wife. Got to meet him in person there. Just so fun to hang out with. This guy built different, man. Built different. If I had this final sweat, I would have been sitting in the sports book. I would have been whatever. He was out on the town with his wife. He was out on the town doing his own thing. I think they were going to go to like Battle Bots, or they were going to go to like a show or something on the Sunday instead of, sweating the dinger. But I got to the bottom of the name with Svi here. So we can just keep going by Svi because I don't really think he knows how to pronounce it either. It's a made up word from Metal Gear Solid back in the day on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's like the name of a map, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. And then he
Mhm.
was like, I don't know if it would stick forever. And he's just kind of ran with it as his username from years on out.
Yeah, we ended up figuring out that it was the name of like a map from a shooter, like you're saying. But yeah, I can't believe that he wasn't sweating.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He's hanging out in the chat right now. He's talking about some of the stuff with his team here, that the Brewer stack was so powerful. He had Jackson Churio with it, who was giving Sam Olsen a scare there. He owes his Seattle pitching a lot there, and it was battle bots that they went to on Saturday there with copper prices. Actually, one last shout out from that weekend, Nez, is I got to shout out copper. I don't want to shout out like everybody and miss people from the ship chasing, but I specifically have to shout out copper prices, Wu-Tang Killer Bees, and Fully Loaded, because they showed up to the ship chasing party or at isolated times over the weekend wearing the Badge Bros merch, wearing the badge, wearing the Three Dog logo. It was so sick. It was so cool to see in the wild. So much respect to them. They were so much fun to hang out with, had some beautiful conversations, and really enjoyed meeting them. So just wanted to get that one off my chest.
Love to see it. I got to see Copper on FaceTime a few times thanks to Chris G. Yeah, that's dope, man. I'm really glad you guys had a good time. Definitely jealous, but it sounds like you guys held it down.
Yeah, next one's Dog Bowl, baby. Next one is the Dog Bowl there. Let's talk about Svi's team a little bit here. He went the 7-pitcher route. Sam Olsen's team had 6 pitchers, but as he alluded to in the chat there, this Milwaukee stack, Willem Contreras, Willie Adames, and then Jackson Churio, who really came alive at the tail end there. I think Jackson Morrell still wins Rookie of the Year despite this like late surge for him in the NL. But yeah, just you needed Ohtani kind of as your first front end pick anchor there. He also had Seiya Suzuki to tap in to some of that Cubs stuff that Sam Olsen was doing there. But yeah, macro takeaways here. Say it,
dude. Sal Frelick and Henry Davis. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, John? Don't ever doubt the influence that we have ever again. I feel like I just won $50,000 by looking at this team. Henry Davis and Sal Frelick on the second place Dinger team. If you told me this in April, the second place in the Dinger is going to have Henry Davis and Sal Frelick, I would have been like, dude, I would have been counting my fucking money. Like I can't believe that I'm taking down second place. I wonder who beat me for first place. Henry Davis and Sal Frelick. You don't say. Oh my God.
I love it so much.
Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah, some more love in the chat here. I gotta say, Emo Cowboy, we were hanging out with him obviously, and Cullen, man, had the chance to meet Biff and his brother there, and it was an absolute blast there as well. Yes, Nez, those are the most Nez picks I have ever seen in my entire career. Henry Davis and Sal Frelick at the top here. Dude, it's crazy that this outfield had enough to get through, and just does tell you like the value of spike weeks at like the right time mattering, because Henry Davis was effectively a 0 all year long. Yes. Sal Frelick was not much better, but maybe had a usable week or two mixed in. Michael Harris was good when he played, but he did not play very much. And it was kind of just like this tail end of the season in which he played, only contributed 33 points on this roster. So it's just crazy to see the difference between first and second, how distinctly different the rosters are. And there's very little overlap.
Yeah, it's a good call, right? I mean, it's not like, oh, guys, you had to have. I mean, there's a lot of different pieces showing up in these lineups. Yeah, man, the Dinger is so much fun. Like, I really do love baseball. We always joke that, we kind of made this show just to talk about baseball on Underdog, and, we do football just to psyop people into talking about it more. But yeah, I mean, baseball just rules, and I can't wait to start Dinger drafting again this winter.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are vested in more baseball content going forward here for the pennant there, Sam Olsen already shouted out stacking dingers, but they'll be doing some stuff tonight to get you ready for those pennant drafts. I'm sure we will mix some in on stream as that gets a bit closer to playoff time there. I love this from Sam Olsen, that he's a team never sweat guy, but on Sunday when he had this sweat, he was watching every single at bat. So love to hear that. Svi, I want to know from you, man, what your sweat was like, what you ended up doing there on Sunday for that. Yeah, little Seattle stack at the top here too, man. This has got fingerprints all over it. I love it so much there. Nez, what was your highest finishing team in the Dinger?
It was like somewhere down there. It wasn't a very
No.
good team.
fair
750 is like the winning, but 250 is what is the extra that came with it. It wasn't like a very quote unquote Nez team. I will say, other than like O'Neal Cruz being on it.
Yeah.
But you know, I was just really glad to get in there. That way I didn't have any like regrets, like, what if I got in? Like maybe I could have like had a good team, you know, there's, you know,
Sure.
no regrets. Glad I made it. Next year, maybe we can win some more cash.
Yeah, love it, man. We will be back next year. Absolutely love this contest. All right, Nez, let's pivot to the lobbies here. I just want to point it out. We're gonna do Primetime Palooza here in a second. Actually, I'm gonna give it a refresh, make sure what's going on here. The fill rates on these primetime things are insane right now. We're already on Primetime Bash 3, which is like a single entry contest there. The $100 has already come and gone. The $25 has come and gone. Incredible stuff going on. But I just want to hit the lobbies. I'm just addicted to clicking baseball. I want to just hit the lobbies macro in general here for Sunday. That's only going to change the bottom. Okay. Yeah, because we got the notes on the back end here from Numi. Just wanted to walk through the lobbies with everybody real quickly. We got the main BR, the hurry up, the extra point, the engage 8, the blitz, the third and long, the victory formation, the squib kick, and the dog bowl returning this week. Okay. Underdog had 1.75 million in guaranteed contests for the first week of NFL. They've already got another million up, or 900 and something thousand up for week 2. It's truly incredible, the growth of this game. I hope we continue to see this with the daily streets all throughout the season. But I wanted to pinpoint those are the contests that are returning that you will know and love from last week that are unchanged. Okay. We have 2 brand new contests in here. We got the Flea Flicker, which is a single entry 12-person tournament. And then we got the Wildcat, which is essentially the Mini Max tournament. It's a $3 150. So if you want to do Battle Royale style, but want to do it at a slightly lower price point with 10K to first, that one's there. So, I mean, I'm talking through them as we could just keep scrolling because this thing just goes forever and ever and ever here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say they Numi ran back the Mini Royale and did it early. He has it out already, and that got a slight change as well. So the difference here is last week the Mini Royale was $5. This is a $10 6-person. I'm brother, we're autoing. $10 here, so the entries are cut in half. And it's 20% to first and not 10% to first. So 2 different flavors in that regard. I'm really excited for the Mini Royale. Me personally, like, I know that I have better success in smaller field contests. So I do plan on putting like a pretty heavy focus on this Mini Royale. So I'm hoping, other people will as well, and we can get some pretty decent liquidity. And it's not just a Sunday contest that people are cramming. I'm going to be in there all week. So if you're like me, vote with your dollars and see me in those lobbies. And I think it's going to be a really fun alternative to the main slate, which is 6 times smaller. That's appealing to me. But also 30K to first is also appealing. So I don't blame anybody for having a different opinion.
Yeah. One thing that's really appealing to me, as everyone can attest to and see on my previous results page, is there was a lot of zeros, Nez. So for guys like me who need a couple min cashes to keep the bankroll alive and stuff, Underdog's added a shit ton of money to a bunch of these prize pools. We got the fullback dive got increased by 15K. The DePalm got increased by 15K to the prize pool. So increase in payouts, but the max entry is still staying the same. So we got increased payouts in DePalm, and the fullback dive and the goal line stand has pivoted to $9 instead of 10, but the prize pool has stayed the same and the first place money has stayed the same. So like they're just adding into this pool for us, and that's going to go a long way for a guy like me who's not quite as talented at drafting as you.
Oh, stop it! You just stop it. $9 for the goal line stand. I actually I do like. It's a $1 difference. You might think like, who cares?
Yep.
The human psyche, I think, cares. When you see a single digit number compared to a double digit number, I think that could help the liquidity of the goal line stand. I like I've said numerous times, small field I like, but what I like even more is 12-person lobbies. So I would love for that to help with the fill rate of the goal line stand, which did absolutely fine, by the way. It's just like the less time I have to wait for a lobby, the better. So I'm really interested to see how that change affects that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I hope you're right, because the 12 teams are a lot of fun, and they're a lot of like more I know ball knowledge. Like look at the teams that got there in the Dog Bowl, like Baker doubles, like stuff like this, where guys were scrolling. Ramondre Stevenson on those teams, where guys are scrolling to find plays, and because it's really hard in the six persons to tell yourself a story that Ramondre Stevenson's a better play than Joe Mixon or whomever that is like 10 spots higher in ADP than. But in the 12s, you can get there, and you can get consolidated on ownership late with some of these like, I know ball takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking at this right now, and you're not wasting any time. You were joking about getting in the lobbies, and you're taking an absolute beating in the chat. You're taking a beating in the chat right now for being in the lobbies currently while streaming here. You've deployed the Nez bots on the community, and they're not happy about it.
The prime time, dude, those hurry ups go so quickly. I just got to get my 20 in, and we'll see, let the chips fall where they may. And yeah, Numi coming in as well, chiming in that the mini was meant to be a different flavor of prize structure and to be top heavier, which I think is great. I think that makes a lot of sense to have different flavors and to have that option. So I mean, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy how much money's in the lobby.
Yeah, it's crazy how much money's in the lobby. It's crazy how fast drafts are filling relative to the lobby. And it's just so nice to see that there's something for everyone in there, regardless of how much volume, stake limited, and whatever you want to play. I hope we did a good debrief and a run through of kind of like some of the adjustments this week versus last week. Hopefully continue to do some of that in the future. Let's talk about the primetime Palooza. Nez, you said the other night that we may not have as fun a primetime Palooza as we had for those first two nights. And now all of a sudden we're getting spoiled again with, tons and tons of top end premium talent on these showdown style slates here. We got an implied team total tonight of Niners and Jets of like 43.5-ish there. And then we got a Miami Buffalo one on Thursday night, which is like 50.5 there. What has been kind of like your macro takeaways thus far from drafting this?
Yeah, this one is, a very fun 2-game matchup here. The Niners and Jets total, I think, is like 43. Bills and Dolphins is 50. Last I checked. So more scoring, obviously, expected to be had in the Buffalo-Miami game. However, there's a lot of, these pieces are not going meaningfully ahead of one another, because of that. And I don't think that that's wrong either. Right now, I'm like struggling to figure out how to build Josh Allen teams that I think have a chance, and how to build a Kittle Kincaid team that I think has a chance, because I am very much like win the flex pilled in these contests. I feel so much better about my teams if I have like a flex player that I feel comfortable about, and then taking what I get at QB and tight end, than going out and getting one of these top QBs or top tight ends. So I need to figure out how I make those teams work, or I just, live and die by the style of, Brock Purdy or Aaron Rodgers can get it done, and Dawson Knox or, Conklin, my preference, can get it done. But I'm trying to win the flex in these lobbies currently.
Okay, so has that led you taking CMC 101, then Tyreek at the next one?
So I was doing that.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up getting like a ton of CMC. Oh yeah, boo-hoo. And I kind of think that Tyreek Hill is the better play this week.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, talk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I said it a lot during best ball season that I think Tyreek Hill deserved to be the 102 over CeeDee Lamb this season. Tyreek Hill gets detained, comes into this Jacksonville game, goes 8 for 120 and a touchdown, and like everyone just like, yeah, that's like a floor game for Tyreek Hill. Now he's going against the Bills, who I just think that the Bills defense is just not good. We'll see. You know, maybe they get. I don't think Milano will be back this week, right? He's got a pretty serious injury.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I think it's a December timeline or something.
Yeah, this game's at home against Buffalo. At the worst case scenario is Buffalo pushes the pace because they are having success on the other side of the ball, and Tyreek Hill goes absolutely nuts. I think his ceiling is higher than CMC in this game against the Jets. The Jets have a pretty solid defense. CMC had a calf injury all off season. We think that they like Jordan Mason a good deal. What are the chances that we don't see like a drive of Jordan Mason, a full drive of Jordan Mason this week, or Jordan Mason at the goal line? I do worry about the volume that CMC is going to get, and I do not worry about Tyreek Hill's ceiling. I'm starting to really like my Tyreek Hill 101 teams.
Interesting. Okay. My issue with the Tyreek at 101 was I felt like it turned every single build I did into 1-1-3-1s.
Yeah.
And the running back that I got paired with it, like I was literally just like praying that James Cook fell back to me, or else then I had to because the running back drop off after James Cook in terms of like even just projection on the site there is like Raheem Mostert did absolutely nothing and was barely on the field. And HN was running all the routes in the world and playing out of the slot. I think he had like 14 routes out of the slot comparative to anyways, not to get into like the nuances and specifics of it. I was just like, man, like I don't even think I can trust Mostert right now. Like maybe he punches a couple in at the goal line, but we saw HN stay in at the goal line. Granted, the situation was unique where they thought he scored on the previous play. They didn't review it, and then they just ran with him on the field again. Maybe whatever. But like Jeff Wilson got 5 carries. Like Jeff Wilson got 1 less carry than Raheem Mostert. And Raheem Mostert goes in every single draft, and Jeff Wilson goes 0%. I wasn't confident in the builds I was making with running back unless James Cook fell to me. So I liked my teams with Tyreek at like 102 more because then I could kind of like solidify one of them coming back to me.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair because I mean they're like pretty much all like Raheem Mostert teams, which that doesn't feel awesome.
Right.
But like I guess on the other side of that coin, testing out some Breece Hall 101s potentially against this Niners defense that showed some vulnerabilities on the ground last year. Getting Raheem, getting Breece Hall in this new look offense that we've been so excited about. I don't think that it's that crazy in week 1. And I'm willing to just have so much egg on my face by saying all these things. Like, how can you be anti CMC?
Right.
I just fully stand by those small red flags. And yeah, I think for week 1, it might make sense to look in other directions.
Interesting. What do you think? I don't disagree with you. What do you think like some of like the quote unquote GM builds will be for this? I saw someone in the chat saying that they got a CMC with a Josh Allen, so that sort of thing's going to be out there. What do you think like the optimal like way the room breaks for you is the best kind of like structure?
Well, Josh Allen CMC is insane. I think a team that pairs Josh Allen with Kincaid and then is flexing like Mostert or Mike Williams, to me seems like some of the best ways to, some of the more attainable GMs.
Okay.
That I would see.
Yeah.
I don't have these teams that people are talking about in the comments. I'm just
right. That's fair. That's fair. But that's an evergreen reminder of how these look, right? And like, like you get people saying throw out these teams and blah blah blah, and then what fucking ships everything this weekend? Baker doubles. So like,
Yeah.
it's just football is a variance laden sport, and no, these things should not be thrown out. Like this is just it's how it is, right? Jay Habs alluding to the fact that he's seen CMC, Hill, and Achan. Wow, that's a wild one. There, like, you're gonna have to get unique and find some crazy game scripts and find some weird combinations that work for you when these things work, because you got to pull the leverage lever if you're not going to play the volume game, right? And like, what is some of that potential leverage for you at the back end? As like you alluded to, Jordan Mason as a potential scroll there. I was doing some Mac Hollins, who scored a touchdown last week there and is kind of like the sacrificial X, as Matt Harmon likes to call those type of players there. I was mixing him, Jennings in there. Cowing had a really nice camp there too. So I was like, maybe one of these guys finds their way to a touchdown and a meaningful score. What's some of the stuff at the bottom that you were liking?
I kind of like Alan Lazard this week.
Okay, cool. Follow the money. Hashtag follow the money.
Yeah. Malachi Corley, I don't know that he's being drafted over Lazard. I would probably guess so. Probably more often. I don't know how much more often. Sure. I think Aaron Rodgers' boy is far more likely to run more routes than Corley this week. Couple that with the fact that Mike Williams has a nice green active tab next to him. Like, that's great. He is going to play. But all the reports are that he's not going to play a full allotment of snaps. So those two things together makes Lazard, in my opinion, like one of the better clicks on here. But like,
he's also Rodgers' guy, like Lazard it's Rodgers' guy, right? Like, we had the Randall Cobb narrative for years there. He's since retired, and Lazard got paid to join with Rodgers coming here. There is a familiarity associated with that. Yeah, I don't hate the shout at all.
Yeah, man, I'm just thinking, like, if we're dealing with some of these teams with sick RB1s in the flex, and then like the wide receiver 2 being one of the last like Bills receivers, or even being Mike Williams, that also have like Kittle or Kincaid at tight end. Like, I mean, you really do just need to take Lazard and cross your fingers, I think. Yeah, this is going to be interesting, man. I really am like I don't want to overthink my strategy because there are some like sick teams that exist, but 90% of my portfolio is built without Kittle or Kincaid, and I mean, like, I respect range of outcomes, and sure. I need to
but the other range of outcomes is exactly what we saw on like Thursday night, which is Isaiah Likely, and everybody is going, oh, GM Mark Andrews and GM Kelsey in these builds, and then Isaiah Likely comes out and balls the fuck out, and he's the guy you need, right? So it's like, don't get caught up in the combos is kind of like an evergreen suggestion for everyone there. Anyone else you want to kind of like hit on of the scroll variety and stuff like that? Braxton Berrios got missed on kind of like an over the top shot there. Malik Washington, I don't know if he'll be active this week, but I do think there is some impact on slot snaps for like Achan. We know Miami's really condensed. We know Miami wants to always be really condensed. Like, that's how McDaniels is. And he's just going to like scheme his best, fastest guys the ball. That being said, like, Malik Washington's going to play a factor with some of those slot snaps to Achan, I think. Like, not maybe enough to like, we're talking like fractions of percentages and stuff here, but I'm not getting like so excited. I'm still taking him behind Breece Hall in this contest, but I do think there's a non-zero chance that either Malik Washington and Jalen Wright play on Thursday night there, which could really muddy some situations that we saw from last week.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, we are very excited about these pieces for Miami, Malik and Jalen. So I think, I mean, it's really hard for me to get to click them, but like, you're not wrong. As we just kind of have to like take them and pray that, that there's an opening for them, because we have 4 days until they play this game, but we're drafting today. That locks in like a few hours. So no, I like that call. I really do.
There's also a little bit of like added wrinkle into like taking one of them and then swapping like day of when you have more knowledge. So like taking like Jalen Wright right now, hoping he's active and is like a differentiating piece that you need. And if he's not, you just swap it to like Jeff Wilson and you introduce like the same sort of leverage with a lower ceiling and hope he vultures a touchdown kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely part of the that's definitely a lever for sure. And something that I'm going to be strongly considering because yeah, I mean, like how are you going to find a way to do something that the field isn't doing? And I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's do rank the onesies and then let's hop into draft here. Are you in lockstep with what you see on the screen right now, Nez? A very weird game from Dalton Kincaid where they score 31 points and he wasn't a factor in any regard there. I think he had 2 catches for like 15 yards or something. Yeah, if tight end doesn't separate on this slate, they're just all going to be bad at their ADP. But anything standing out to you right now?
I mean, dude, I do not have a lot of Kittle or Kincaid on this slate at all.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm trying to, as we get closer to lock, fix that because I just don't think that my percentages represent the range of outcomes for these guys. I love Conklin though. That being said, I think Conklin is my favorite at cost tight end pick on this slate. I have a ton of Jonnu as well. But like, I'm lying if I say I'm not worried about the snap share week 1.
Yeah, the thing about the snap share, we did this all last year with Durham Smythe, is like he's out there a shit ton. He doesn't get the ball ever kind of thing. So yeah, I would definitely be a little bit worrisome that, they didn't want to feature Jonnu in any regard. Or they didn't just like let him be the block guy as well. But I think like the snaps that Jonnu plays are more meaningful than the snaps in which like for fantasy sake than Smythe plays, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're not taking Kincaid or Kittle, it's Smith or Knox,
Right.
and maybe I'll do Knox if I'm, if I got an Allen team. Otherwise, like I'm just like kind of trusting the process, taking Jonnu and and believing in his talent as a a pass catcher and a runner in a game that I think is going to be high scoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to see some other stuff here on the side, but anyone else you want to hit on at the quarterback position? Are you in lockstep with the ranks that we see on the site right here, or do you have Rodgers over Purdy or some of the other tier?
No, I am in lockstep with the way that these are set up. Tua last year led the league in passing yards, got off to a really hot start this week as well. Definitely, I think has a chance to match Josh Allen, but I think Purdy does too, man. I think that the way that this obviously like the Niners are set up, just extremely efficient, especially if that thesis of like limited CMC comes to fruition, and they're leaning on the on the pass game more,
right?
Then I think Purdy can easily put up like 4 touchdowns, which is probably what he needs to do to match like a Josh Allen. Like if Purdy's getting 28 points. 100% it's got to be 4 touchdowns, like he's got to get 16 points there with like 300 yards. That quick maths there, that's 28 points. That's what he's going to need to do, and that kind of coincides with a CMC fade if that is not coming from CMC.
Okay. Yeah, just to pile on with the CMC stuff there, he was, he had the calf in preseason, didn't play any preseason games, and he was limited. He took an LP all 3 practices last week. So, yeah, I mean, non-zero chance that Jordan Mason gets a little bit of work in there. I imagine Isaac Grando is going to be a healthy scratch, but don't quote me on it because he did have a full practice on Saturday, so they might have him active as well. Yeah, I mean, we probably don't have to scroll there, but but just throwing out there. Shout out to our guy Nick joining up, 13 months there. Shout out to another Nick, the winner of a Dog Bowl seat joining up, and Jeff as well. Big shouts to you guys. Thank you for joining up the community. If you guys see fit, there's a link below. There's something $5. This is probably a good time to tell you guys the schedule for this week. I have one of the shows up already in the hopper. We're going to move I think we're going to maybe permanently do this, but I haven't talked to Nez about it yet. I think moving the Wednesday Battle Royale big primer and preview to Tuesdays this year, just because of how much earlier the slates are getting up, might be a good adjustment for us. But it's definitely going to happen tomorrow. So because I have a travel day on Wednesday, so we will do the show tomorrow, and it's going to be 1 hour earlier. So 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's going to be the full BR preview. We'll talk about the Monday Night Football stuff. From this, we'll maybe talk about a little bit of primetime Palooza, deep dive, that sort of thing. Yeah, hit the like, that subscribe, that notification bell. We got almost 300 of us hanging out right now as we speak, so please do so. Nez, let's jump primetime Palooza.
Let's do it, man.
I did all 5 of the $25 ones. I did the $100 one, and then unfortunately got canceled, and then I didn't get another 100 in before the contest closed, so I'm not in that one. And I think I've done 7 or 8 of these thus far. We had a friends and family draft right here, Nez. Manaray, who belongs on the NFL chapter of the hashtag list there that we're finishing up. Best Ball Viper, friend of the show, obviously, and Alejandro, who is in that NFL tier there as well. So, woo.
And then, just to boot, man, Chad in the chat here, gifting out 5 Membies.
Ooh, what a
I
beauty.
can read them off to you. My boy, Andrew Robb, getting gifted a membership. Shout out to Fanspeak. Cole, just simply Cole, getting gifted a membership. Purple Yosh, huge fan of the show. I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth. He might not be a huge fan, but he is here all the time.
Yeah.
I see you, dude. Daniel Tino. What up, Daniel? Thanks for the full government name. Noah Rosen, our boy Noah, getting gifted a membership as well. Awin in the chat as well. Awin, you missed the you missed your section, brother. But I'm glad that you weren't watching us during class. Your academics come first.
Yeah, you missed the John Glaze, aka my Pornhub.
Anyways,
username.
let's go with the pick number 3 here, John.
I like Breece Hall, man. I like Breece Hall. What do you like?
I like Breece Hall too.
Okay, let's do it. I just feel like if I'm gonna take back end shots today, I like the John Glaze. I'm gonna take them at the receiver position.
Whoa! You're taking back end shots, all right, buddy.
Oh man, fuck me. Cancel the show. Do you like the A-Chan? Do you like James Cook in there?
I'm sorry, I gotta sit this one out. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Nez. You were fired. Now you've been fired. Underdog is no longer sponsoring the show.
I'm sorry, dude.
Shoot.
I'm sorry. Holy shit, man. That was so good. I can't believe you said that was wild.
All right. Okay. Back. Focus. We got a draft.
I like what you did with Achan.
Okay. Okay. I think we starve ourselves at wide receiver here and see what it looks like. And we take Kittle. Or you want to take Ayuk? What do you like?
I think, damn, dude, we can try Kittle. And just
tell me what you would do. What do you like better right now?
I've been doing Ayuk.
All right, let's do it and see what happens here. Maybe Kittle comes back. Maybe he doesn't.
Because Alejandro might be like, okay, yep, and then he's probably going to go. So interesting.
Weird. Okay.
Okay.
So he's autoing the ranks right now for sure. His own ranks. We got a wide receiver decision if we want to go the Buffalo route. I don't think we take quarterback here. I just don't think it matters now.
Yeah, so these wide receivers are an interesting conversation. I like Keon.
Okay.
He had more targets.
Yeah, he had 5 targets there, a little bit of rotational stuff. They missed him on another, what looked like almost a touchdown. He just got missed. But yeah, I like that stance there. Khalil Shakir had a really nice touchdown. Did you see it?
Yeah. I mean, dude, he's a yak god. I mean, people might not know it.
Mm-hmm. Easy telling us not to panic on tight end. That he has a 0 projected gift for us. I'm very intrigued.
Is he trying to steal our thunder? Like we weren't pumping the Durham Smythe smoke for weeks last season, or is he talking about somebody else?
I don't know. I think he might have like a true scroll for us. Like, I don't have
something I don't know.
I don't have the utilization report pulled up, so I don't know who's been playing some snaps out here. But I think I want to take Tua here, Nez. I know we got the Ayuk pick here that you could stack Purdy with.
Well, we should go tight end first.
It doesn't matter. He has 2 tight ends. He can't take another one. Okay. So it doesn't matter who we take here. I kind of like doing this Achane to Tua and then taking a Miami tight end.
Okay. I definitely would be Tua. Okay. I think like stacks be damned here. It's just like, hey, what if, we know Achane's super involved in the pass game. Why can't he be the beneficiary?
All right.
Dude, what is he talking about?
Easy's telling me Julian Hill, tight end 1, as a scroll the F down to complete our Miami stack. He's going to be running more routes than Jonnu Smith, allegedly. This is how you scroll. He had 1 catch in week 1. Let's mix him in for the leverage.
John, let me look at the utilization report and just see what's going on here. This is okay. There are some publicly available parts of the Fantasy Life utilization report that are available to people, but a lot of it is behind a paywall this year, which, like, I mean, let's be real, it definitely deserves to be. It's insanely valuable. And you get a lot of other good stuff with it. Not sponsored, by the way, just Pete works for Fantasy Life, and the utilization report is something we used a ton last year. Mm-hmm. So I ponied up for it. Julian Hill, he ran the same amount of routes as Jonnu Smith. 6% targets per route run, though. Oof.
Hey, you want to bring this up for a second here?
Yeah, sure, I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Big Fantasy Life is going to crack down on us for sharing the tight end utilization report for the Miami Dolphins?
They might, man. I heard Matt Berry watches every week. We FaceTime.
Dude, Matty Berry loves our show.
He loves our show.
Until proven otherwise. All right, here we go. I can make this slightly better viewing in just a moment as well. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, it's Julian Hill, Durham Smythe, and Jonnu Smith. Here's the route percentage. Do we have snaps? I don't see like their snaps, but we can get that.
I'll look.
At any rate, yeah, I mean the routes were all equal. I think Julian Hill literally had 1 target. Jonnu Smith, I think, had 2 targets. And then this is a new thing, the utilization score, which is just, a combination of snaps and targets and, and utilization in the offense, coupled with, some ADOT stuff as well, to give you a number here. And I mean, it seems like the answer is just probably none of these guys.
Yeah. But when forced to choose and when scrolling for leverage, this is not a terrible shout. Week 1 tight end snaps. Julian Hill, 59% of snaps played. Durham Smythe, 42. Jonnu Smith, 28. Tanner Connor, 4%. When we're trading zeros amongst each other, give me the 0 that's also 0% owned.
There you go.
There we go. There it is. Don said he watched the preseason. He didn't even score points in the preseason. This is the deep, dark secret about the Miami Dolphins that nobody knows, that only the good players ever score points for them.
They have like a very groundbreaking idea in the NFL, which is like, get the ball in your good players' hands. Not everybody, subscribes to that philosophy. I know it's like the Miami Colts out here. This is probably right from Nick. But yeah, I think the answer is probably neither. John, I know I kind of have a somewhat of a time crunch. If my wife does not eat lunch or early dinner, late lunch, by 2:30, then she turns into a gremlin. So I do but before we sign off, I think we should build a pick'em because we have 3 profit boosts available.
Okay.
And I think we should at least put one together. Ferda
tonight. All right. Ferda tonight there was a lot of Ferda being said this weekend. That was an old school one. Okay, 20% profit boost pick'em there, $20 max. We're going to go ahead, apply that one to the jump here. Nez, have you been perusing the lobby thus far here? We didn't talk about the Ayuk versus Debo, zone versus man splits and stuff for game 1 here, but I imagine Brandon Ayuk sees way more of Sauce Gardner than Debo Samuel does tonight. So I do like me a little bit of Debo and Kittle on some of these spicy things or some of these yardage props or whatever yardage plays more than perhaps Ayuk, but that would kind of only be my like 2 cents thus far.
Yeah, to be like fully honest, I haven't fully like perused the lobbies, but I do really like adjusting the projections where you can. So, John, I'm a big Debo guy. Mm-hmm. You can adjust the Debo touchdowns, rushing, receiving to 1.5. So, Debo smash game, and you get 5.9x on that. I mean,
okay, where am I going? Tell me.
Well, I think this might be a mobile thing.
Oh, well, that helps me right now.
John, I'm doing our job, and I'm fully invested in this. I think instead you can do the fantasy points though. I think 13 fantasy points for Debo is steep, but it's Debo MFing Samuel. So have no fear.
I mean, and if you buy into like the calf thing with McCaffrey and that narrative a little bit, like he might mix in a couple extra carries, couple extra like designed those jet motion end around style things tonight, just to, there's multiple ways to take away CMC usage if they're concerned about that sort of thing, and they don't all stem through just Jordan Mason being on the field. Instead, it could stem through Debo taking some of that stuff that CMC would normally take.
Exactly. That's a really good way to think about it as well. He's definitely a beneficiary of that thesis. I will say also, I mean, I like the fantasy points, but you could also do first touchdown scorer for Debo.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
That's roughly 3x, I think 2.9x.
The Jets lose the toss. Picture this. The Jets lose the toss.
They go heads like donks.
Yeah, because tails never fails. Everyone knows that. And the Niners decide, we want the ball. We're going to score.
We want the ball. We're going to win.
Yeah, a la Matt Hasselbeck, baby. Here we go. Touching tribute. They come out here. They effortlessly move the ball down the field via George Kittle, exploiting a nice little matchup with the tight end there, Nez.
Okay.
Now they're at the 18-yard line. Little motion from the right side slot coming across the formation. That little cheap motion where he sets, but he doesn't set. Debo comes back around, end around handoff style, a la Jaden Reed the other night. Shoots that seam all the way in. A 19-yard rushing score. Debo Samuel doesn't even have to dive into the end zone.
Not even a dive.
Not even a dive. That's how clean. That's how untouched he is. That's how well blocked downfield it is by George Kittle and Juwan Jennings.
7-0 Niners. I love it.
7-0 Niners. First touchdown, Debo Samuel. I like it.
Let's add Breece Hall, because I think Breece Hall is going to go nuts.
Okay.
A lot of different ways you can play Breece Hall.
We get the vulture protection too on Breece.
Yeah. I think 1.1x on a touchdown for him feels really good. Right. Coupled with the vulture protection. In case Braylon Allen is Himothy.
He might be.
He might be, John.
Dude, you know what? I think I like just those two.
Yeah.
Like we just do it. That gets us 15. That gets us to 15x with the boosted. So if you apply the 20% booster, you can get a max of $20. $20 is going to pay for our primetime Palooza.
Damn straight. I love that this is a 20x max too, or $20 max. You sometimes see 20, sometimes you see 10. I love that we've, been blessed with a $20 max, just a little bit of extra on there.
I love that. Let's do it. All right. I'm adding that one to the chat if anybody wants to play along at home there. I'm actually excited for this ball game tonight. We kind of got robbed last year of seeing what the Jets could look like. And then, Bill Belichick did his first coaching show with Underdog there and was talking through, the weapons that were so hard to game plan for with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. And that was when they had, negligible quarterback play. So now to see them with a Hall of Famer, this could be a lot of fun.
I'm really hoping that we don't see like a Kirk Cousins-esque performance, because whether that was just the suffocating Steelers D or it was Kirk Cousins' Achilles just failing on him, I hope we see an effective Rodgers.
Yeah, me too, man. It'd just be so fun for football. It'd be so good. Yeah, we'll talk through more with that little juicy nugget you were talking about there with Kirk Cousins and Atlanta next week. Although I do think they're primetime game because they're not on the main slate. I don't think. I was looking at it, but
so they're either Sunday night or Monday. Okay,
I think so. I don't know. So I just did 2 battle royales really quickly before we started the show. Anyways, appreciate everybody hanging out today. Nez's wife needs to get fed. I'm starting to get a little hangry as well myself. Nez, anything parting words for the people here?
Yeah, I'll see you in the lobbies, and best of luck in your primetime Paloozas. Let's go Debo.
Love it. I love that, dude. Big respect there. Oh, GA chiming in. We got to give GA a little love when he chimes in for the 13 months there. 13 months OG guy there. Big shouts to those who got the Dog Bowl seats again. Thank you so much to Dark Sheep, aka Matthew. Thank you so much to Chad, aka Lee. And thank you so much to Nick, aka Vogie Berra. Congratulations on you guys' Dog Bowl seats. Thank you so much for 2 of you guys joining us there. And then big shouts to Sam Olson and Svi on those dinger wins. I mean, community's popping off. Hope to see more of it tonight in the primetime Palooza. 250 guys, please hit the like, the subscribe, the notification bell. We are back every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern, other than tomorrow, Nez. Tomorrow I have to take Mr. Goodboy to the groomer and got some real life stuff to do there. So we're going to start 1 hour early, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's it. Everybody's favorite time of the show. On behalf of Nez, I am John. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.